All right, this one sounds like a doozy. Solving linear equations with several occurrences of the variable. Fractional form with binary numerator. Ooh, so scary. Basically, the binary numerator part just means that on the top of a fraction, you're going to have more than one thing. So you'll probably have a letter and a number. So don't let that freak you out. Several occurrences just means that you're going to see whatever they're using for a variable more than once. You're going to see more like 1x or 1w or whatever it is. Fractional form, hopefully if you've done some of the other topics or looked at some of my videos, you're getting less scared of those because we have a neat trick of how to get rid of fractions right away. And once the fractions are done, the rest of it's kind of just plain Jane algebra type of stuff. Alright, so now that you have a sense of how unscary it really is, let's just try one of these suckers. So 11 equals, and here's our first fraction. On the top of this one we have 8v take away 9. On the bottom of it we have a 7. Between after that fraction we're going to have a plus, and we're going to add another fraction to it, and on the top of this one it's v take away 5, and on the bottom of this one's 2. Alright. This topic is started actually exactly the same way that the other ones that have fractional coefficients or anything with that. We're going to look at the numbers that are in the bottom of the fraction. The first fraction has a 7 on the bottom. The second has a 2. We need to find the greatest common factor, or basically looking for a number that 7 and 2 both go into evenly, and that's going to be 14. 7 goes into 14 evenly, and 2 goes into 14 evenly. Now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply all of these terms by 14. 14 is like our magic number. So we have how many terms here? We have this guy is going to need to get multiplied by 14. This guy is going to be multiplied by 14. And this guy is going to be multiplied by 14. It may seem scary for a minute, but hold on, hold tight, and I think the first step we need to do is get rid of the fractions. So when we start to set this up, the fractions will disappear. Alright, so take our magic number, 14 times 11. We're basically just copying, but we're putting a 14 in front of each term. And then 14 over 1 times 8v minus 9 over 7. Does that look ugly? Sure does, but don't sweat it. Plus 14 over 1 times, copying this over neatly. And again, like I've said in other videos, copying it over neatly, taking your time are going to really help you. It's what I call good housekeeping. It's going to really help you stay on task and get the right answer. Alright, first thing we're going to have to do is multiply that 14 by 11. And I don't know that off the top of my head, so that's 154. Okay. So let's see. Now what we're going to do is when we look at this is just a fraction times a fraction. We're going to reduce the 7 with the 14. So 7 goes into itself once, 7 goes into the 14 twice. Now this is a little part where you just need to be a little bit more careful. And what I'm going to express that you be careful about is when you have that 2, it needs to be multiplied by each of the things in the other fraction. So I'm going to put that 8v minus 9 in parentheses, because the 2 has to multiply both those things, and we'll do that in a minute. I don't want to take on too many steps at once. Alright, second set of fractions here. 2 is going to reduce with the 14. 2 goes into itself once, goes into 14 7 times. And same deal, we need to take the 7, and remember in our next step to multiply both those things by the 7. Alright, so what did we accomplish? We found a magic number of 14 so that we could get rid of fractions. Cool, we have no fractions left in this last step that we just wrote. Now what we need to do, and again this is hopefully something that you're pretty confident with, is we're going to get rid of those parentheses by distributing. So in our next step we're going to take the 2 and multiply through both those numbers, and in this section we're going to take the 7 and multiply through in both those numbers. So let's do that. 154 equals 2 times 8v is going to be 16v minus 2 times 9 is 18. Bring down our plus sign. 7 times v is 7v minus 7 times 5 is 35. Alright, I'll scroll that up a little bit. Now what we have is all this gobbledygook on the right hand side, just a lot of numbers and stuff going there. So what we want to do is see if there's any like terms. So my 16v can't combine with 18, but it can combine with the positive 7v. Notice that I'm incorporating the plus sign in front of it because they're married together. The other numbers that I need to combine is the negative 18, I'll put that in circle, with the negative 35. All right, so let's look at these combinations. 16v plus 7v, that's going to give us 23v's. Negative 18 minus 35 is going to give us an even bigger answer of negative 53. All right, we're down to our basic two-step equation. Okay, this should hopefully feel pretty good for you guys. So what we're going to do is get rid of the 53. Because it's being subtracted, we're going to add it to both sides. Whoops, let's add a 53, not a 54. This is going to give us 207. I need to scroll up just a tad. Alright, and then our last step is to divide by 23. Gosh, I wonder if, I bet 23 does not go into that evenly. 23 is prime also. So let's say we'll just leave it as a fraction of 207 divided by 23. What's 23 times 9, just for ha-has? 18, 19, 20. Oh, it is. So this will actually, if you divide it out, should equal 9. Cool. I like getting a nice solid answer from something gross. So again, what did we do? We basically we took the original problem, found the common denominator, and then we got rid of the fractions by using that common denominator. Next, we ended up with some parentheses. That's probably the hardest thing right there, is to remember to put those parentheses in. We distributed through the parentheses. That gave us just straightforward algebra, combining some like terms, getting it down to the basic two-step equation, and bam, getting an answer out of that. All right, let's try another one. Let's see, how about 9u plus 5 all over 7 equals 8u minus 8, that's a minus, all over 3 plus 2. Again, where do we start? First place you want to start is looking at the bottoms of our fractions. We have a 7, we have a 3, our common denominator, or our magic number is going to be 21. Second step is to write it all out. Kind of gross looking, but it's really just involving, I don't know, I would just say good copying skills. Magic number over 1 times this fraction. And some people I've actually seen, they put their parentheses in now. If that helps to remember to do that, totally do it. Magic number again, because that is the key. We don't want to forget to, even though 2 isn't a fraction, we need to multiply it by the 21 anyways. Alright, now we're just multiplying our fractions. 7's going to reduce with the 21. So we're going to have 3 parentheses 9u plus 5 equals, the 3 is going to reduce with the 21, turning it into 7. 7 parentheses 8u take away 8, and then, whoops, plus 21 times 2 gives us 42. Next step, we need to remove the parentheses by distribution, or multiplying through, whichever way you want to call it. 3 times 9u plus 3 times 5, 7 times 8u minus 7 times 8 plus our 42. Again, just take your time, roll through it. Just kind of don't feel rushed. I'll scroll up a little bit. All right, are there any like terms on the left-hand side? No, we can't do anything with that. So we're just going to copy them neatly. On the right-hand side, we have a 56u, but there's no other u terms, so we're just going to rewrite that. And so we're combining negative 56 with 42. And so that should give us 14 minus 14. All right, we have u's on both sides of the equation. So what we're going to do is we'll bring the 27u over. So if we subtract it from this side, it's going to disappear. So we'll need to subtract it from that side. Let's recopy. Let's see, 56 minus 27, that's going to be, let's see, that's going to be a 9, and then 29, and that's my phone. Alright, 56u minus 27u gives us 29u, minus the 14, which we haven't touched yet. Bam, we're down to our two-step equation, so we're going to add the 14, add it to the other side. That's going to give us 29. Another beautiful answer we're going to end up with here, huh? So now our last step is to divide both sides by the 29. And then our u is going to simply be 29 divided by 29 is 1. So there you go. Let's try one more. And actually on this next one, write down the problem, hit pause, try to solve it in your notebook, and then hit play and see if we end up with the same answer. All right, third example. Let's see. Let's do 5x plus 3. Let's put that over 7 equals 9 minus 2x plus 5 over 3. All right, same as before, the last two problems, we're going to look at the numbers on the bottom of our fractions. We have a 7 and we have a 3, so our magic number is going to be 21. Again, second step, just copy it all over with the magic number. We'll throw in the parentheses here, just so that we'll get used to it. All over 7 equals, again, magic number, times 9, minus magic number, times parentheses, over 3. All right, next step is to get rid of these fractions. We'll just be really careful as we multiply through, reducing when we need. 7 reduces with the 21, turning it into 3, so we recopy that, making it a lot neater. Look at all those fractions, it's pretty cool. 21 times 9, let's see, that's going to be 189. And 3 is going to reduce with the 21, making it a 7. So let's see, we're going to make that minus 7, 2x plus 5. Next up, we need to multiply through. So we're going to start by multiplying the 3 through. 3 times 5x, and that's 15x, plus 3 times 3 is 9, equals, we copy the 189 because we haven't touched it yet. Now, what we're going to do is remember that this negative sign is attached to the 7 when we multiply it through. So we want to think of it as multiplying both of these numbers by a negative 7. So negative 7 times 2x is going to give us minus 14x. And then negative 7 times positive 5 is going to give us negative 35. All right. So what we want to do now is we want to clean up both sides of the equation, although on the left there's nothing to clean up. We just need to recopy it neatly. And on the right-hand side of the equation, we can combine our 189 with a negative 35. So we're going to actually subtract those numbers. Let's see, 9 take away 5 is 4. Oh, I think we've seen 154 before. Minus 14x. Let me just slide this guy up a little bit so I have a little more room. Great, now we have the x's on both sides of the equation. Let's bring 14 smaller than 15, so I'm going to make him go. We're going to add the 14x to both sides. When we combine and simplify, we now have 29x plus 9 equals 154. Down to your basic two-step algebraic equation. We subtract a 9, subtract a 9. Now we have 29x equals, see, 14 take away 9. Now does 29 go into that? Should we try it 5 times? 29 times 5 gives us 45. Bingo! Alright, so when we do our division here, 29 goes into 145 5 times. It's kind of nice when we get a happy answer. Alright, well I hope that helped, and if you want some more practice, let me know, or if there were like a couple steps you weren't sure what was going on, definitely come ask me and I will help you out with it. Thanks for listening. Bye.